Tucker Max, and how many New York Times bestsellers did you have?
Four.
But three at one time.
Yeah, three at once. Yeah, four total. Yeah.
So he's got a company called Book in a Box, and he helps people pull great books out. And I got to tell you, I've been wanting to write a book for a long time.
Yep.
And how long have you heard me say that? And,
We've been talking for a year, right?
yeah.
At least. I think maybe longer. 2 years maybe.
So I believe everybody has a right to my opinion, and I really want to get it out. But I'm going to use somebody like Tucker to help pull it out. Why is it so hard for people to get a book out?
Yeah, so we talked about this. People like you who are really, really smart often have problems because you fall into a couple traps. One of the big traps like you were in is you feel like a book has to have everything you know in it, right? To make sure everyone knows what a genius you are. But actually what you want books to be, generally speaking, are much narrower. One idea, one topic, right? And you got 50 books in you, not one book that has 50 parts.
So
That's
it's
the way you
almost
wanna
what
do it.
made TED so popular. Is
Yeah.
They finally got people to tell stories
In 18 minutes instead of an hour-long speech,
And
right?
nobody wants to read every.
No, exactly. So that's one. The other one is if you're really accomplished in one field, like you are crazy successful, you go into a different field like books, there's an anxiety like, oh my God, what if my book's not perfect? It'll make me look bad in my real
Because
field.
it's almost like a legacy.
It is, it's a piece of your identity,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And so like a lot of the people we work with, people like you, thought about writing a book for a long time, know they should write it, and they tried themselves, didn't work, they got frustrated, and so what they end up is like, okay, once they get to know us, they trust us, they're like, all right, these guys are gonna help me narrow down the one book I should be writing, and they'll help me make sure it's as awesome as I am in the other parts of my life. So it's like, because a book's gotta be good. If you do it, a lot of people say you can write any book, it doesn't matter. That's bullshit. If you write a bad book, that's gonna be bad for you. It needs to be a good book, well designed, good cover, good title. Everything's got to be spelled right. Like it's got to be a professional book. If you're a serious professional, have a serious professional book.
Yeah. One of the things that you said that made so much sense to me is I've been spending time writing down a bunch of the content ideas, thinking that I was like getting the Lego blocks to get this right. And he said to me, do you buy like a couch and then say I'm going to build a house around it?
No. Yeah. No, it's weird. A lot of people like you, again, really, really smart. Like keep idea. No. Like what the way you want to write a book is you want to ideally identify what am I trying to accomplish with this book? Who is my audience? Who exactly? Not like your audience isn't men. It's not business people. It is C-level executives over 50 who have this exact problem. That's an audience, right? And then you understand, okay, what exactly am I going to say to those people that's going to then get me the thing I'm looking for, right? And most people, even really smart people, just don't understand the mechanics of that. And so when we walk them through it, it becomes obvious, like, oh yeah, of course, this is what I'm going to do.
The other thing that made so much sense to me is I've heard so many people talk about writing books and that we could use this format or that format. Think about the 5 questions your customers ask and the 5 questions they should. And what you said is, it would be like a smart person watching how we use supercomputers and data scientists to trade and saying, I think I can do that.
Yeah. Those are great topics for blog posts or for little videos, right?
Yeah.
A book is a different thing. It's right. It's very similar. Like, how hard can it be to just put an AI in a supercomputer, right?
Right. Really simple. As long as you don't have to do it.
We have so many people who come to us who are like, oh, my book's 80% done. And we'll look through it like, no, your book's not even close, 20%. Maybe you've got a good idea and you've got a lot of nonsense around it. Having a professional book means every detail is right. And if you don't work in books, you just don't know the details, just like what you do. If you don't know the details, you can't get it like someone who does.
Yeah, and so without mentioning names, I happen to know that one of the books that you helped do that's a New York Times bestseller actually took the author less than 9 minutes 9 hours in your process.
Yeah, I can say the name. You want me to?
Sure.
Yeah, so Tiffany Haddish's book, The Last Black Unicorn, it's been on the New York Times bestseller list for 3-4 months now since it came out. She was a client of ours. Yeah, and she's a comedian, so getting her to talk was easy.
Yeah.
I basically had 5 calls of about 2 hours, and we were done. She was easy though. Most people's longer, 40, 50 hours. Someone like you, because you got complicated ideas you got to really flesh out. She was much easier.
All right, so how do people contact you?
Bookinabox.com.
Bookinabox.com. All right, Tucker Max, thanks, man.